Barbershop Talk, Minnesota. It is 2919. It's -4 degrees outside, and we are happy that we live in this cold weather. Yeah.
Are you sure about that?
Mind over matter.
Okay, mind over matter. Okay.
We have Danielle Teal here from the C.A.K.E organization, and we'll get into more of that later. It is not about the breakfast you're having this morning, as I said earlier. We'll get into the C.A.K.E organization. But as we start, we want to make sure you know that one, Bud and Andre will be here, so don't tune us out. The gentlemen, the real dudes of this show will be here in a little bit. But two, we wanted you to know that this show is about our community. It's about the African American community, the at-risk community, the urban community. As Paul Wellstone said, we all do better when we all do better, and that's what this show is about. So whether it's Danielle Teal, the governor, I don't know, whoever we bring in the show, it's about our community being better. It's about those voices that are not being heard, making sure that they are heard. So that's what we're all about. I want to take a quick second as we're waiting on our two co-hosts to promote the Favor organization with Solomon Antoine. If you look back a couple of shows, he has a great organization with his co-founders working in the community. Look for them if you need anything to be done around your house, the Favor organization. Also, if you saw last week's show, Dr. Reba Peoples, and her information will be up on our website as we get going and all of that. But she does health and wellness. Also, she's a psychiatrist, and she has a real awesome take on black mental health and all that kind of thing. So if you're looking for a psychiatrist, if you're looking for a wellness coach, she is the one to get in contact of, and we'll get that information to you. So as we get going today, and again, we're waiting on our co-host, we're going to jump right in. As you know, when you come to the barbershop or the beauty shop, right? No subjects are off the table. The elephant in the room, they are exposed, and that's what we do here at the barbershop. And hopefully we'll get our two co-hosts in. So Danielle, before we get into you,
okay.
Let's get into this, our elephants in the room topics. Virginia is a mess, and it's more funny to me than anything. I don't know if it's funny.
Right.
Okay, the governor, Democratic governor, Ralph Northam, he blackface, right? Oops. They're asking him to resign. Then his lieutenant governor, Justin Fairfax, who has a great history as far as his African American history, now he has 2 allegations of sexual assault. And then the guy that would succeed him, if those 2 were to resign, Mark Herring, the Attorney General, he was doing blackface too. And then if those 3 resign, then the Republican takes over. And now I'm hearing some Republican, I don't think it's him, is going, that has this blackface issue. So Virginia is a mess. It's almost funny, but should we be surprised? It's Virginia. And you're from the East Coast.
I'm from the East Coast, so I guess I'm on a hot seat. No, I'm not surprised.
Yeah.
I'm not surprised. In those areas, Virginia, D.C., and Baltimore,
Yeah.
it's something that we grew up with, and
Yeah.
we knew that it exists. But now with social media and everything like that,
Right.
it's all coming out to the public. So now everybody else is now seeing what we experienced
Right.
in the East Coast for years.
Right. So, and another question I continue to have, and I don't know the answer to this, and I get in trouble when I ask this question. When do you forgive? When do you, and understanding Ralph Northam, he did the blackface when he was 25 in med school. But when do you say those were useful indiscretions? As we learn in psychology, for those in the mental health business, men don't mature to their 25, psychology research says. So I'm being funny here. So if he did it when he was 25, he wasn't fully mature.
But Donnie, you know me. Donnie's the politician of the group, and I'm not. And I'm not. And oftentimes, I think that they have a political agenda.
Right.
Right. Mm-hmm. And so I don't like the political agenda behind it, because if they knew way before.
Right.
Right. And then they bring it to surface because they trying to shuffle things around and do stuff. Right. But when should you forgive? I think that you could use this as a learning experience.
Right.
Use his platform to talk to other colleagues like him.
Right.
To tell them that this dude exists.
Right.
And then what type of training we could put in place so this thing won't continue to be able to do it. So you got to bust up the good old boy network.
We do.
Right? So behind doors, this always goes on.
Right.
Right? And they know that it always goes on. It's just that Now someone want to expose him
Right.
because they want him out of his position.
Yep, exactly.
But for us who's been affected daily, how do we get past that good old boy network and these corrupt politicians and stuff?
Right.
And that's what I really want to get to more than saying just the forgiveness part.
Right.
No, put some money behind it, put a bill behind it, and legislate it.
That's what
Because it
it's all
starts
about.
with legislation and policies, right? That
Right.
affects everyone. So
Right.
if they're serious about this, we have to say, let's legislate this thing, let's put policies
Right.
and stuff behind it.
I agree. I agree.
I think it should be brought in the public eye. I think that I agree with you. There's lessons in this, and it needs to be a conversation so that people are aware of how offensive it is
Right.
and what we can do to teach our children and peers of ours that it's completely inappropriate
Right.
and not to do it.
Right. There's anything that's a teaching moment, it is Virginia right now.
Yeah, and it's also, locally we had the same thing at, JM.
Yes.
With the kids and
That's
stuff.
That's
And,
another win.
we did a little, a little thing they did at JM and try to get together and stuff, but that's not true inclusion, right?
Right.
So we have a problem in our community with that. We don't want to have those hard, courageous conversations.
Right.
We know it exists in our community, right? It shouldn't be that we have to get together as people of color or, women and stuff behind closed doors and talk about the issue that
Right.
we face every single
Yeah.
day.
Right.
Majority of my conversation when I meet with other men of color is talking about getting their frustrations off
Right.
of what they experience every single day,
Right.
and don't have a voice to talk to somebody about that.
Right.
And if we don't talk to somebody about that, that leads to depression, anxieties. I
Oh.
remember, and I told them, my psychiatrist, I had to say psychiatrist, that's crazy, right? As a pastor, counsel people and everything, and I looked at that, how do I talk to you about institutional racism?
Yeah.
And systematic racism that I face every single day
Yeah.
that caused me to be on this on this chair,
Right.
on this couch.
Right.
And if I talk to you about it, what kind of solution you going to offer me? It's nothing you can do to be able to offer me that, right? And so we see a lot of people who leave Rochester for that very reason, because the mental state of mind, they just can't handle it.
Yeah, oh yeah, I hear that all the time. Well, our next topic, and this, get mad at me for this one, but I had to bring it up. Well, I want to know, it wasn't a great week for women. Visibly, it looks like it.
Right.
Yeah.
First of all, I want to bring up, Stacey Abrams did the State of the Union, and then she did the Democratic response from Atlanta, Georgia, ran for governor, did a great job with the Democratic response, whether you agree with her politics or not. But the biggest thing, at least for the State of the Union, well, actually a couple. This picture of Nancy Pelosi, look it up if you can't see it here, condescending to the POTUS, our president, Donald Trump, to a degree. And this is probably going to be one of the most famous pictures in history right here. But given her power as Speaker of the House and all that type of thing, I just want to note that because that is huge, given her power. But I want to go to something different here, and that is this. If you know, State of the Union was Tuesday night. Women dressed, and this was great, in all white, in support of women's rights and women's issues. It was great. And they came to the chamber all dressed in white. Not all of them, but most of them. They all sat together. If you see the initial picture, and I have it up here, you'll have to look it up on your phone or on your computer. They were looking at the president like they were going to have him for lunch. Literally have him for lunch. They were mad. They're all, I'm not sure what
I think there's a lot of mad women out there.
Yeah, there is. And rightfully so, right?
There is. It's, in the last couple of years
Right.
and beyond that,
Right.
that anger has propelled a lot of women to come forward. And I'm not surprised by this photo because
Right,
there are
right.
times, even as a kindness advocate,
Right.
you feel so fierce about the need for change
Yeah.
Yes.
and what we're experiencing and seeing in our country. This is not a surprise.
Yes.
Well, and I wanted to ask this while we're here.
Yes.
Has given Nancy Pelosi and an idea, or previously, of the power she has right now, more or less. Has things changed for women?
No, not entirely. No, I think that we see so many examples in our society, gender inequity, those sorts of things, that there's still a lot of progress to be made. And we need women as fierce as this
Right.
to represent women in our community, to move things forward.
What about our mayor? And our mayor's done a great job coming in, Mayor Norton. And one of the things she is not, holding up is that she's the first woman mayor.
Right.
And I'm thinking she should. I mean, she did mention it, and she's very confident, a great woman, she's gonna do a great job. But do you think she should hold it out there more that she's the first woman mayor of the third largest city in Minnesota, and maybe use it to enact policies or whatever?
Well, I think it's one of those things that stands alone that she is the first mayor woman. At the same time, I am a fan and supporter of Mayor Norton. I've seen her be in the trenches of Random Acts of Kindness too.
Oh, good.
And so, and that is not fanfare related to that. So I know that her authenticity and that she's genuine is there. And for me, it makes her credible in who she is as an individual and leader in the community. I also have thoughts when it comes to kindness and social justice, and we can get into that.
Okay. We'll get
Because I think it's a really good conversation to be had, because there's a difference between being kind and being nice.
Ooh, yeah, now that's some real talk we'll get into. All right. Well, I want to get to the second picture. This is where I'm going to get in trouble. Our president had those same women who were looking at him like they were going to kill him.
Right.
Had him celebrating, chanting USA, USA toward the end of his speech, because he threw out an olive branch, if you will, toward them.
Right.
I thought, and this is pardon me on this, I'm like, man, y'all came in with this stern face, and I'm not even, but when he said, hey, women are awesome, blah, 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 and he should have, right? They were up cheering. I'm like, you guys lost your leverage. Am I wrong?
I think it's okay. I think it's okay to celebrate and get excited about a potential.
Right.
I think it's like I tell my children, you can say sorry, sorry, sorry for so many times.
Right.
But we need to see it in action.
Right.
I do believe that when people apologize, there's an opportunity for grace in that. But if there's no follow through and no action for change, then there's a barrier there. There's something that is beyond the apology. So, as far as the olive branch goes, we've seen the president, we've seen what he's done.
Right.
Let's see the action.
You see if the action. Well, hopefully it does, because they were cheering like crazy. I was surprised. Well, I want to get into what I think is awesome. Miss Maya Moore, 4-time champion. I'm not sure how many MVPs she's won for the Minnesota Lynx. She said, hey, I'm not playing in 2019. I'm going to go into ministry. And I'm not sure specifically what she's going to do. Maya, come to our show and tell us what you're going to do. But she's leaving professional basketball, getting paid, endorsements, all that for 1 year to do ministry. I thought this was the greatest thing. My daughter plays basketball. Plus, I thought it spoke volumes for, I guess, what it means to be famous and all of that. Speaking of kindness, that she would do something like this.
And to walk away from it, the notoriety, all that comes with it. I think when you get the call, you get the call.
Right.
And if you know your purpose and know that you need to act on it, I admire her for doing that, because that is so profound. And, and what an incredible year it'll be for her. I mean, I think a good example is Kaepernick. I mean, he has done some things that has just completely shifted his path in life. But the outcome is so phenomenal. If you follow his Instagram, it's incredible to see how big of a positive impact he has on the community. So
I think the elephant in the room to me is there's not a lot of talk about it. I mean, I just was watching ESPN, they did a little piece on it. To me, this is huge. Almost a Michael Jordan of women's basketball, leaving 1 year, almost like Michael Jordan, but he went to play basketball.
Do you think it's because she's a woman?
I do.
Yes.
I think so as a woman, and I think that they're waiting to see the impact that she has or what she's going to really do. Because when you're a trailblazer, you'll see others follow behind that. And some others probably want to do it, but afraid to take that leap of faith to do it. As others, Napoleon Kaufman, who was a play for the Raiders, did it. He signed a huge contract, and he walked away from it because he found something greater than himself.
Right. So that's huge. I remember the tall dude for Dallas Mavericks. What's his name? I'm dating myself. I won't get there. He did it. He was a Mormon. He went over to
Sean Bradley.
Yeah. So
I didn't know the answer.
Yeah,
Sean Bradley.
But we segue from her kind acts to our guest here today, Danielle Teal from the C.A.K.E organization. Thank you for coming. We've heard a lot about you, a lot of great stuff you do. Tell us who you are and what C.A.K.E is, so people don't get hungry looking at you.
Right. So the cool thing about C.A.K.E, I actually put a call for kind of a marketing concept for C.A.K.E, because we used to be called the Random Acts of Kindness group in Rochester.
Okay.
It was getting confused with the Random Acts of Kindness Foundation.
Okay.
And we are not technically a nonprofit. We are a professional volunteer group that partners with nonprofits on small to big scale efforts related to kindness initiatives. And so we did not want to get that confused. So I put a call to action out there asking for some type of marketing concept that could change the title of our group. And so Barb Sorensen actually is the one that came up with it. It's called C.A.K.E. It's because you could eat your cake and share it too.
Right.
I mean, is that not fun?
That is, see, now I get it.
Right?
Yes.
Now I
Right?
get
You
it.
can eat your cake and share it too.
That's something the visionary
Yes.
come up with.
Yes,
That's
and
good.
so that is our philosophy, is to share it too, but also the whole concept behind our group is to talk about kindness publicly, because kindness actually has a stigma to it, and it has an archaic philosophy in many respects, sometimes related to religion, sometimes related to culture in different ways.
Yes.
Our intention, after reviewing a study about the pay it forward concept, is to intentionally carry out acts of kindness in a public format through social contagion in mass quantities. Because we've seen people that have used fear and have been successful in wielding power in that way. Power influence, right? Adolf Hitler, right? A lot of people can parallel that to him.
Yeah.
For me as a founder of C.A.K.E, the perspective is we can weld power and influence through goodness, through kind acts, and not instill fear, but instead instill inclusion, instill love, instill a lot of those things. And so it's interesting because in 2012, I started doing Random Acts of Kindness publicly and did a blog about it. And the thing that I learned from that was when you talked about kindness, people thought that you were coming from a place of ego, coming from a place of self-centeredness, and that surprised me because I simply wanted to share about it and encourage people, motivate people to join me. And it shocked me too because they didn't really, some of the individuals didn't really see the intention of my own heart.
Right.
That I was doing this for a reason that was beyond what someone else was perpetuating. And so there's been a lot of learning from this experience.
What's the if I may jump in,
Sure.
what's the psychology of that? Because when I admit my initial reaction to kindness, I'm like, okay, what does, particularly in this community with all the doctors and blah, 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 whatever. What's the psychology behind, okay, what do you think you're all such much as you used to say or whatever?
So I've had experience of people saying that.
Really?
Like, oh yeah, that have sent me, oh, you're doing this for attention. This was back in the day before I've been able to condition the thought of this is what the intention is, right? And in that respect, I understood, because this is what is so ingrained in our society, that there's an agenda behind kindness, perhaps, that there's ego behind it. My hope with the C.A.K.E group is to showcase, one, that there is an authenticity with people carrying out kindness and knowing that they have good intentions. Two, by being consistent. So with the efforts that I do, I consistently share the experience and I follow up with people that contribute and help and show them this was the outcome, so that they know that there is a before and after and that we're consistent. And there is literally no kickback for me doing this group. Literally. So I don't get a tax write-off because there's an intention of not doing a nonprofit. I get zero kickback with this group. The really awesome thing about that is that there are nonprofits, businesses, and organizations that we collaborate with or jump on board because they know that we are going to carry it out, we're going to follow through, and we're going to continue.
Oh, nice.
So
people can, if they know of a Random Act of Kindness, can get a hold of your organization and say, hey, we want to do thus and so, and then you'll carry it out if it meets your mission and vision.
Correct. Yes. And so what we do we specifically utilize the Facebook page, and we will share efforts. So for example, last Thanksgiving we did Thanksgiving meals for those in need, and we partnered with Rochester Public Schools social workers to distribute those. And if someone came up and said, I really need a box, we're not going to turn somebody away. When people need help, we're not selective on they need help. If they genuinely are coming to us, that's a pride thing. If you're dismissing a pride coming up to me saying, I need help, then I'm going to either deliver that in some capacity, or if I'm unable to, because we don't have a budget, we don't have, you know, finances. A lot of times I use my own funds and my friends use their funds to help out. You know, if I'm not able to, I will point them to the right resources.
So what's the evolution of C.A.K.E and why Danielle does this? I mean, for some people, their pain is their purpose,
Right.
or they get the calling, or they see there's a gap.
Right.
What in the world got you crazy enough to do something like this?
Sometimes I do feel crazy because I'm in the trenches a lot. And there are times where I look at it and say, I need to take a step back because I can only do so much. And I can only do what's in my wheelhouse, because if I expand beyond that, it can extend me as a human being. And if my bucket's not full, I can't fill someone else's bucket, you know? I don't know if you guys know, but it really spoke to me when you were talking to me about your experience in life. And I'm sure we have obviously different journeys and the extent of that experience. But at 16 years old, I found myself relying on a friend for shelter. And I was in an environment that was incredibly abusive, and I left that environment. And so I had worked at 16 years old. All I've known is working, and trying to survive, and being sheltered homeless at 16 years old, having that support from a friend and her mom. I will never forget that. And there are constant,
That's awesome.
constant thank yous to them. Mary and Kathy, thank you so much for saving me. And then along that journey, I've always had really good people along my path. And those people, some of them were strangers, you know, complete strangers that showed me kindness. And that experience in life really opened my eyes as a youth. One, trying to survive, and the people, the helpers. The helpers that helped me. And two, I never wanted to know that another youth or human being was on the streets without me doing something to help. And so that has been something that has propelled me into what I do, and it's the thing that keeps me going. The other was what started the 2012 New Year's resolution of doing daily acts of kindness, and I have that's the only New Year's resolution I've never stopped. I continue to do it every single day.
I've stopped a lot of them.
Yeah, it becomes, after 90 days, it becomes a lifestyle, right? And that's the way for me. But in a few years prior to 2012, I had went to go pump my gas, and I didn't have a lot of money at that time. And I had pumped only the amount that I knew would go through the bank. And
been there, done that.
Yep. And I went into the gas station, and the cashier said, "Someone took care of your gas.
Whoa.
This is $30."
Wow.
And I looked around, like, trying to find out who it was, and obviously the person wasn't there. They wanted to remain anonymous, and I got in my car and bawled my eyes out because that was huge for me, and that was such a life lesson. At the time, I didn't really get it, but there was a pivotal point. I don't know if you guys remember when Rushford had a ton of flooding. Okay, so I think it was like a couple years after that experience that was it. Something clicked, and that's where I felt I needed to live my life in a way that contributed in a big way, that was significant, and the impact wherever I went, I wanted to leave someone better, and so that has always been my intention.
Wow. So it seems like to me that, you know, you got the gifts of help.
Yes.
You know what I'm talking about, because I can tell, because that's, you know, my strong point is help, right? And I'm able, and the people with help's able to find resources. I just know, I can't explain it, I just know how to do it, and it just come natural.
It does.
And so one of the things, and I can tell you're a relational person, and saying no is a difficult
It
thing.
is so hard.
That's why, man. That's why, man.
It is
That's why.
so hard.
That's why I had to see the psychiatrist. I'm just, you know, about because most of my phone calls, help, right? And I know it's pulling on my gift because that's how I operate, you know, and I can just, you know, feel it. So, question I have, because I know Bud won't get in there. So, how diverse is your volunteer base?
It is.
Or we looking at trying to get diverse. What I mean diverse is talking about, you know, Sudanese, Somali, Asian. I mean, how diverse is, because oftentimes I know everybody, they do stuff, but they have a hard time of getting other people, you know, I mean, of color and stuff like that to be able to join some of the stuff you do. So how diverse is it?
So it is diverse. If you look at the C.A.K.E Facebook page, you'll see that there's a multitude of different things that we share about. And so, you know, we share about events from the Diversity Council, from Project Legacy, United Way, in different aspects of that, as well as other things in the community related to that. A lot of that gets also funneled to me. So if someone sends me information, I will share that. I will share that.
I'm talking about volunteer. So
the volunteer base.
Part.
Oh, yes.
The volunteer part. So I'm talking more of the volunteer part, not so much with which are initiated with the nonprofits and stuff.
Yeah.
Because we know the nonprofits works with minority kids and do stuff, but we're talking about actually, you know, them coming alongside with you and doing some of this work. So how did that look?
It is diverse.
It's diverse.
It is diverse, yes. We have a wide variety of people that volunteer, and anybody you can think of is in the community comes and volunteers, and they know that they will be supported, loved, and everybody's in the trenches. Yep.
So my question was, if for people that's looking and they wanted to volunteer as a care volunteer, what would that look like? And some specific examples of what the expectation of a care volunteer.
Sure. The biggest thing is, you know, I'll often get a note saying, well, I want to carry out acts of kindness. What can I do? Well, start with the person next to you.
Okay.
And so that is the biggest thing I can tell people, because I think people get kind of stopped a little bit with, I don't know how to do this, and I don't know what to do. It seems so huge. It doesn't have to be huge. It can be literally anything. And so I tell them, start with the person next to you. What can you do as you're observing? You're walking into a store. Is there something that you can do as you're walking into the store? The other thing is our group, like I mentioned, shares so many different events in the community that are helping others. And so our intention is to partner with nonprofits, but we also carry out just acts of kindness too. So how can people get involved? They can come to the Facebook page, like it. They can jump on board when they see an event that we've shared. They could be a part of that nonprofit organization and start contributing. A lot of times people will ask me, this is my gift and talent. I'm really passionate about this. What do you suggest? And I will walk with someone in that. So if someone says, I'm passionate about pets and I can't get enough of them, and I want to do kindness for that, then I will guide them, you know, towards directions of where they can volunteer. The other really cool thing is United Way does have a volunteer site. So you can literally go onto the site, plug in your interest, and start volunteering on something that you want to give your talents of or are passionate about. So those are the ways that people can get involved.